What if your body has already been silently fighting cancer your entire life and nobody told you? What if the most powerful anti-cancer weapon in existence isn't a drug, isn't a surgery, and isn't a treatment you'd find in any hospital, but something living inside you right now, waiting to be activated? Scientists just uncovered something that is genuinely reshaping everything we thought we knew about how the immune system works. And once you hear this, you'll never think about your health the same way again. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't know. Every single day, your body produces cells that could become cancerous. Every single day. Mutations happen. Damage accumulates. Rogue cells try to grow where they shouldn't. And yet, most of us never develop cancer, at least not for decades. For years, scientists credited this to the immune system's well-known soldiers, the T cells and the natural killer cells, the ones we learned about in school. They patrol, they identify threats, they destroy. Standard stuff. Case closed. Except it wasn't. Because researchers started asking a dangerous question: what happens when cancer gets smarter? What happens when a tumour figures out how to hide from T cells? How to disguise itself? How to essentially wear a mask and slip past the immune system's usual checkpoints? That's exactly what aggressive cancers do. They evolve. They adapt. They learn the immune system's playbook and they cheat. For a long time, that was the nightmare scenario. Cancer outsmarting our defences. And for millions of patients, that nightmare became very real tumours progressing even after immunotherapy, even after everything modern medicine had to offer. But here's where the story changes completely. Deep in your bone marrow and circulating quietly through your bloodstream, there exists a type of immune cell that researchers had largely overlooked. Not the famous T cells, not the natural killer cells, something else entirely. These are called gamma delta T cells, and they operate by a completely different set of rules. Unlike conventional immune cells, gamma delta T cells don't need a formal introduction to recognize cancer. They don't need the cancer to wave a flag and identify itself. They sense stress signals. They detect metabolic changes at the cellular level, the kind of changes that happen when a normal cell starts going rogue, and they move in before the tumour has any chance to hide. In 2023 and into 2024, multiple peer-reviewed studies out of institutions including MIT, the University of Cambridge, and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute began documenting something extraordinary. Gamma delta T cells were finding and eliminating early-stage cancer cells that had completely evaded conventional immune detection. These weren't small studies. These were findings that sent shockwaves through the oncology community, because it meant the immune system had a secondary, largely independent defense network, one that cancer hadn't yet learned to fully outsmart. But here's the critical catch. These gamma delta T cells don't work well when the body is under chronic stress, when inflammation is running rampant, when the gut microbiome is disrupted, or when key nutrients are depleted. In those conditions, this secret defense network goes quiet. It becomes suppressed. And that's when cancer finds its window. So the question becomes, how do you keep this hidden system active and operating at full strength? Researchers have identified several key factors. Sleep quality, specifically deep sleep, is when gamma delta T cells undergo their most critical activation cycles. Chronic sleep deprivation literally switches them off. Exercise, particularly moderate intensity movement done consistently, has been shown to increase gamma delta T cell activity by as much as 40% in some studies. Reducing processed food intake lowers the systemic inflammation that suppresses these cells. And micronutrients, particularly vitamin D3, zinc, and specific polyphenols found in plant-based foods, appear to play a direct role in keeping this system primed and ready. This is exactly why so many health researchers are now paying close attention to comprehensive immune support supplements that are specifically formulated around the science of cellular immunity, not just the surface-level immune response most products target. If you want to support your body's deeper immune architecture, the one science is only just beginning to fully understand. Look for products that are third-party tested, contain clinically studied doses of vitamin D3, zinc, and adaptogenic compounds, and are transparent about their sourcing. The link in the description below connects you to one we've researched thoroughly, and that aligns with exactly what the current science is pointing toward. Here's what you need to take away from all of this. Your immune system is not a single wall standing between you and disease. It is a layered, intelligent, adaptive network, and parts of that network are only now being mapped. The gamma-delta T cell discovery is not a fringe theory. It is peer-reviewed, it is reproducible, and it is changing treatment protocols in cancer research right now. You have more protection built into your biology than you ever realized. The job is to stop undermining it and start supporting it with everything you know. If this changed how you think about your immune health, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more content that goes deeper than the headlines. And drop a comment below what was the most surprising thing you learned today.